Leave him alone. He good. He good. Leave him alone. Okay.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father like is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. But if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes the black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. it means I got your back. It means we're doing it together. It means
Right.
I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids, and I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
Yo, what it do? Welcome to another episode, another night. I'm going to speak on a podcast 2K24 actually. Man, there's been a lot going on. A whole lot going on. As everybody know, the Drake and Kendrick battle did its thing and ended in fashion. With Kendrick Lamar being the victorious one in their little battle. A lot of Drake fans was thinking that the battle should have went on a little bit deeper, but after Kendrick dropped "Meet the Grams," I was like, why should Drake even respond? Because he was saying a lot of personal stuff, and then the pedophile stuff. So then Drake jumped on and tried to defend it, which I think threw him off his game. But out of the beef, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, like I said, it was victorious. Kendrick was more experienced. I say. His strategy was better. And the knockout blow was when he released the song They Not Like Us. But meanwhile, Drake was on tour right before all this beef started. He had just finished up his tour. 87 sold out tours. 87 sold out tours. So the guy is winning. And this little battle thing, he didn't have nothing to gain from it. So let's just hope he don't lose a lot from it. Number one rap artist in the country, I guess in the world right now. He hitting like Hammer was back in the day. He's like the Michael Jackson of rap right now. Broke Michael Jackson record for the most sales. So yeah, he doing his thing. And like I say, he only could stand to lose. And this was a battle that he probably shouldn't have gotten in. As you saw, as soon as J. Cole saw he was going to battle the Boogeyman, J. Cole hauled, hey, he ain't want no part of it. He dropped that little whack ass track, little weak track. It was cool, but hit him in areas that
Hey, run for
Let
your
me hear you
life.
say OV ho. Say OV ho. Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way.
okay. So that was King Kendrick. Salute to the brother, one of the best lyricists in the game, especially of this current era. And his strategy was just, I think when he came out with the Meet the Grams and saying all the pedophile allegations, that threw Drake off his game. And he had to do a response. But instead of just sticking to the script, coming out with his club banger or something and feature Sexy Red or somebody on it, I don't know. But he didn't. And we'll probably go deeper into that on the hip hop podcast. But tonight, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. But Rolling Stone was the first to declare Kendrick the winner. A lot of other hip hop fans like it should have went on because Drake did do a reply, but I don't think Drake should have did a reply. Then it's a shooting at his home, and it's just a lot of stuff going on with that rap uh, battle stuff. So I really didn't want to touch on it tonight. That'll be next week. I may touch up on it. I was trying to get a panel together to get their views on it because we thought it was actually going to last at least to this week. But I think it was declared Saturday that it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Sunday or Monday. But anyway, it's over with Kendrick being victorious. So shout out to King Kendrick, Lamar doing this thing. Now, topic of the night. Last week we did our topic on daughters with daddy issues. Then oh why I gotta be that, and the woman must have left the man, and it ain't our fault that she don't want you, blah blah. People were saying, but like I told them, this could be a 4-part series because you have daughters with daddy issues, you have sons with mother issues, and vice versa. Sons with daddy issues and daughters with mommy issues. So we were going to attack the sons with mother issues tonight. And yeah, that's where we are tonight. Hold on. Did I post that under there? So with that being said, let's dive into it. Mother issues. Okay. It can hit us several ways. All the way from the mama's boy to the spoiled boy to the boy who was raised by mom but misses his dad. In so many areas and so many ways it can affect uh, what we have going on. When you're an adult, it messes with your psyche, and a lot of times you have to seek help. But a lot of us are afraid to seek help, and so we try to cope with it ourselves. And a lot of times we fall short of doing so. And several people chimed in, and it's a worldwide issue. Um, it's happening, and we just have to cope with it and do better. But here's some takes on it, and then I'll elaborate on it. Let's see. And if you've dated someone with these issues, just identified, and it's probably why you guys are bumping heads in a relationship. But peep this.
3 signs that lets you know a man has mommy issues. A man that is too codependent on his mother is a good sign of a man that has mommy issues, i.e. a mama's boy, to where his mother and him have a connection that is closer than necessary at a certain age, where he still leans on her for basic things that he should have taken on by now as a man on his own right, to where she is priority number 1 in his life, even above his woman, to where he's always putting her before things or plans with his significant other, his wife, whomever. At the end of the day, you wind up realizing you'll never be number 1 in his life because his mom has that role. Number 2, a man that seeks an unhealthy level of love and nurture from his woman that only a mother can provide. Because that man didn't get a certain level of nurture and a certain kind of love and reinforcement as a kid from his mother. So where now he's trying to subconsciously live out this love and nurture that he never got from his mother through his woman, putting an unhealthy level of pressure on her to be his everything. To where if she can't get that level of love, he shames her, puts her down, or says she doesn't love him, being overly emotional when it doesn't seem warranted. And number 3, any man that talks down on his mother. And that can become an indicator of how he thinks of and treats women as a whole.
Now, when we were on the daughters with daddy issues, I spoke on someone I was dating that had daddy issues and mommy issues, actually. And I walked in on her cursing her mother out. And I was always told that you can pretty much tell a person that you're with by how they treat their parents. And she was real evil with them, and come to find out she was just an all around evil person. So that turned out to be true in my case, with my experience. But like I say, it's not always. Different people know how to cope, different strokes for different folks. And then they were saying that they have a close relationship the boys may have a too close relationship with the mother where they put her above their significant other or their wife and their family as a whole. So I also know cases like that. And then I had an uncle who told me when he saw I was living, I guess, the age to start living with, women, he gave me a specific phone call and he said, once you get your immediate family, you can't keep doing for your mom and your daddy. He said they paved their way. They're living their lives, or they have lived their lives. He said you are starting yours. So my uncle instilled that in me, and I might have been 21, maybe 22. And so that carried with me. So I never was labeled a mama's boy or anything. And I don't even think it's mommy issues or daddy issues when it comes to me. But he gave me that speech. And then I do know, and I do used to hear different family members complaining because soon as the dad's sisters or his mom or something like that would call, he would pause everything and go over there. And I used to hear them complaining off and on about it, and so just listening. And this is like when I'm 12, 13 years old. And so just to hear a woman complaining about that, or my aunt or something, sister-in-law's complaining about it, I knew right then that it wasn't healthy for a relationship. But a lot of women get in these relationships with these guys, and they're pretty much gonna do whatever the mother tell them to. I don't like her, and the guy eventually gets a resentment towards the woman, and it may not let him go down the altar or whatever. So I've seen a lot of the issues with that. The mother don't want to let the son live his life. The son stays at home, stays up under the mother, won't leave the town that they're in, won't move 100 miles away from the mother, too dependent. I've just seen a lot of that. And most of the times when you see that, they didn't have a good father figure in their lives. Their mother was their father figure. And a lot of times they try to get houses with their mom, or they move on the land with their mom with a trailer in the back. It's just that they're afraid to leave that nest, and it's how the mother raised them. And so we don't know if it's a hatred thing because he wasn't able to be a man, like the guy said in the video. Being a man and doing what a man should do at a certain age, they kind of get handicapped of that, and they tend to stay around mom, and then when they meet a lady and want to settle down, she has to battle the mother. You know what I'm saying? Come over here and do this, come over here and do that, and he'll pause everything, put their vacation on hold to go and put up a fence for his mom, instead of saying, hey, mom, I'm about to go on vacation. If you can't find nobody else to do it, I'll do it when I get back. That's what my uncle told me to do. But to each his own, different strokes, different folks. But here's another one.
Many women ask me what it looks like for a man to have a mother wound. I know, believe me, they do have mommy issues. So I figured I'd make this video so I could show you how the mother wound shows up for adult sons. This won't come as a surprise for many of you, but a man with a mother wound is unable to emotionally provide for his woman. He is expecting her to mother him. He experienced unmet needs and probably has immense rage. And that is what he is looking for his woman to soothe. They are also very controlling, and it's their way or the highway. And not just with their woman, but maybe if they have kids as well. They can't understand any other point of view. Now, if we sprinkle in some father wounds, and they believe that they need to be strong, shove down their emotions, and dominant, this is where many men get confused on what a healthy masculine man looks like. They believe all they have to do is provide money. So when his woman comes to him and says, I'm not feeling like you love me, or that my needs are going unmet, he perceives this as a threat, gets defensive, and says, well, I provide for this family. This is him releasing the suppressed anger of the inner child. Really the inner teen, but nonetheless. And he plays the victim very, very well, because that's what the little boy that's wounded is, the inner child. Really the inner teen, but nonetheless. And he plays the victim very, very well, because that's what the little boy that's wounded is feeling. Not until he heals can he provide emotional support for anyone else.
So healing is a very important part when you have these issues. We are not immune to these issues. Men just hide their issues a little bit better than women. And now that therapy is available, a lot of women go to therapy and they are trying to get their significant others and their mates and husbands to be, and sometimes husbands, to attend certain sessions. But a lot of men feel like they don't need therapy because a lot of men know what they're doing and they know what the woman wants. So it's basically them being willing to change. But it's hard to break a habit that was instilled in you when you were a child and you didn't get that help as a child, and now you're reaching adulthood and now you have to deal with those issues, those emotions, those feelings that's inside. So, and being that I have seen and been on both sides of it, and I kind of just chose to opt out, and I just became more of a loner to myself, and I worked on self-healing and different things like that. And I learned to control a lot of the learned behaviors that I had growing up, or that I seen growing up that I wasn't I seen growing up that I wasn't a fan of. And I was like, this is just can't be life, you know. So if there are men with father issues, there are men with mother issues. There are women with father issues, women with mother issues, because no one is perfect. And we had a podcast about the behavior of the parents. And what it boiled down to is our parents were raising us from what they were taught from their parents, tried to make it a little bit better. So it's like each generation got a little bit better, per se. Whereas I guess maybe in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, they may have beat them, you know, with boards, okay, as punishment. Then the 70s and let's see, 50s, 60s, then maybe the 70s, 80s, you got whipped with extension cords. Then 80s, 90s, you know, it just went, you got the regular belt was the worst. Then when the 2000s came, you wasn't even getting a belt. It was this is when the timeout for the they started doing the timeouts and more punishment because they didn't want to beat the children, and then plus it became against the law. but they didn't want to whip the children the way their parents whipped them. So the children start getting away with a whole lot of stuff. Um, and so now is barely any discipline in the home, and the kids are haywire. They're killing each other. They're going to jail. So it's a side effect to that. But each generation kind of got softer and softer as it went down, and now we have what we have now: 14, 15-year-olds dropping out of school, carrying guns. So, but all of that stems from the way the child was raised, which was probably um, single parent household majority of the time, a narcissistic uh, mother, our father, but we're talking about the sons with mother issues. So with mommy issues. So and watching your mother struggle and you're having to sacrifice because you're the oldest or the man of the house, and your mom and you constantly bump heads because you want to go and spend time with your friends, but she wants you at home babysitting. That's where that seed get planted for the uh, mommy issues. Love mommy to death, but the fact that you weren't able to be that kid that you felt like you needed to be or wanted to be that you needed to be, um, and it affects you when you get grown. You tolerate when you're young, and you demonstrate when you get when you're grown. So you tolerate it when you're young, you demonstrate it when you're grown, and that's what where a lot of the mother and son issues come in at. And so when they try to date, um, as I was reading and watching the videos, when you have a mate or meet someone with the a man with the mother issues, they're often, as the guy said in the video, they're often to themselves. They're often controlling, um, narcissistic traits, um, want all your time and attention. Because what it is, they're basically missing what they didn't get, or they're wanting to get from you what they didn't get from their mother. So we're not gonna say they're missing, because like my favorite term is you can't miss what you never had. So it's not like they're missing it, but they wanted it because they may either seen it on television, seen it through their other family members, their cousins, seen it through the neighbors, seen it through their friends when they go over there to visit them, and they just wasn't getting that same treatment at home. So that's where I feel a lot of the issues stem from. Now, a lot of times it turns into men portraying as if they hate women because they hate their mother. They love the mother because she's their mother, but you know, it's that's a uh, it's a it's a tough situation, but it's real. So it's definitely something that I feel need to be discussed and carried out. You need to heal yourself first before you participate in a long-term relationship. Before you start seeking a wife, you have to be in tune with yourself. You have to face your own demons, because the last thing you want to do is take your demons and your hurt, your pain, your insecurities, your incompleteness into a relationship and try to make it whole. Um, that's what a lot of us end up doing, and you not only are you hurting yourself, but you're hurting that innocent person that chooses to be in your life. And a lot of times the guys with mommy issues tend to be abusive. And that's because of how they were treated growing up. That hatred is instilled in them. And a lot of times they say the wife or your mate, especially when the love word come into play, is the closest thing to your mother. So if you have resentment for your mother, you was too little to fight, too little to curse, you will do all of that to your mate, to your wife. So it's very, 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 very deep, and it's nothing to really play with. But a lot of people be like, um, they'll be okay. It's okay. But everything isn't okay, especially these days. That's why there's so many therapists out here now. They are needed.
You got to be careful messing with these men that have mommy issues, because a lot of them are not looking for a relationship. A lot of them are just looking to be taken care of and to fill a void. So you're going to get stuck with a grown-ass man that acts like a child. He's constantly going to cheat because in his warped little mind, he feels like he has to get over on you before you get over on him. I know, stupid, but that's how some of them think. Second of all, he's always going to question everything you say. He's not going to believe you love him. It's going to be hard for him to trust you. And all that stems back from him being a child and not being shown the proper affection as a kid. Third of all, they're so disrespectful to women because since their mom, I guess, messed them up in the head, they feel like they have to get over on all women and they hold this grudge. So a lot of them become narcissists. And it be like that. A lot of these men that have mommy issues are complete narcissists, and they have this hate women, I need to get over on women mentality. So if you start dating one of these guys and he hasn't properly healed, you need to run fast, because he's gonna take out everything that he went through in his childhood on you, and you're no one's chaperone. You shouldn't have to go through all of that because he hasn't properly healed. Just run, mama.
Okay. So he say run from it. Okay. And if you detect those mommy issues early, I say the same thing. But what if you're in the relationship 2, 3 years, time invested, money invested, heart invested, and then you find out, you see little signs, but y'all in love, so we often known to ignore signs, um, the early signs. A lot of times, many people ignore them because we ignore the early signs because we're quick to blame ourselves. Maybe it's us. But trust issues can possibly stem from mommy issues. If the mom was sneaky or uh, unfaithful, untrustworthy to your father or whatever father figure you had, you can grow up thinking that all women are like that, and that you don't want to get cheated on or put down or clowned or rejected like you may have seen the mother do your father or your father figure. So you'll grow up in life going into a relationship looking for signs that mom did to dad, or to your father figure. And like I say, once again, all of that is creating unhealthy relationships. And a mother is bad enough that majority of at least over 78% of men are being raised by their mothers. Okay. And so they have several TikToks, blogs, Facebook that's saying a woman cannot solely properly raise a boy to a man. However, I have seen single parents, single mothers, rather, raise strong healthy, go get it, independent men. So that's not always true. I guess that depends on that individual that's being raised. But majority of the time, that statement holds true. Um, they are less, they're not too quick to get out there and get on their own. Um, they cling to women real quick. This is what I noticed with men with mother issues. They cling to women quick. They so-called fall in love so quick. Um, they overly trust sometimes. It's like everything they wanted, they give a lot. They want to make sure that that woman that they're with is the happiest woman. They often neglect themselves to please women or other people around them because they lack that affection from that mom. And I understand it's a double-edged sword because the mom got to get out there now, especially if she's a single mother, get out there and work. So she's not going to have a lot of that sit on the couch watching a series, bonding time with that 10, 12, 13-year-old son. The critical years. They're not going to have that time because, hell, they got to go to work. And then I posted a post that's saying working 24/7 and buying them things doesn't equate. Child support, working 24/7 and buying children things doesn't equate to the time that needs to be spent during the critical years, during the learning years. But in the world we live in today, inflation, everything's going up. So you have to get out there. And if you're a single mother, a lot of them making less than 30,000 a year, 28,000 is what they usually make. And then you're raising a child. You got to get out there, double time, take all kinds of shifts. TikTok, YouTube, STEM, social media, they're the ones that's raising the children now. It's not, majority of the time, it's not the mom that's at home because there's not too many stay-at-home moms these days because it takes two a lot of times to run a household. You very seldom find a stay-at-home mom that's going to be one-on-one with the kids. It's rare. There are a few still out there, but it's rare. And she can't do it alone, but yet a lot of them single. And they say single by choice. I've seen women with 3, 4 kids with men with men with no mommy, daddy, or whatever issues, willing to wife them and be a part of their 3 or 4 children lives. They don't want that. They want to be single and free. Okay. But at that same time, they're neglecting the son. You know, the movie Baby Boy was made for a reason. We looked at the movie, we enjoying the Tyrese and whatever his girl name, Taraji P. We enjoying that. I mean, Jody is, we loving it, and we're looking at it, we're laughing. We know a couple people who going through it, Jody living with mom, you know what I'm saying? And in the movie it symbolized, it showed him, and it was a genius. John Singleton put it together. They had they showed the scene with him being inside the womb of his mother. Those scenes, the crib, they call it the crib, and the crib symbolizes that grown man still being a baby, getting in a crib. And baby boy, he wouldn't leave the house. He was connected to his mom. He didn't really want his mom with no other man. Those were mother issues. They fussed all the time. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want to know what a mother issue is, that movie, Baby Boy, was a classic example on what a mommy issue was. And so we just looked at it as face value. It's Jody, you know what I'm saying, Yvette, they doing their thing. He cheating, she running behind him. He treating her any kind of way, calling her all kinds of names, cheating on her. All of that because he didn't get the love he felt that he should have gotten from his mother. So that created a son with mommy issues. So we see it every day. They put it in our face because it actually happens, and it happens more in our community than other communities, because we seek love and affection by nature because of past the ancestors and everything. So we seek love and affection by nature. And so when that guy with the mommy issues that hadn't healed tries to get in long-term relationships, they often crumble because he's still longing for that love and affection that he never got from mom.
A lot of brothers can't even love their wives because they have not resolved the issues with their moms.
Damn. So if you got mommy issues, that's gonna roll over to some wife issues.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because she is the closest thing that will remind you of her.
Wow.
Everybody's wanting to heal on social media, baby. Before people came to know me, there was 10 years of brutally addressing my daddy wounds, brutally addressing my mother wounds, because my mom had created some wounds. And we don't talk about mother wounds in men, because it's not that I can't love her. I can't love her because I haven't let go of what mom said to me, and loving her, what means I gotta love my mom.
And I follow them brothers. There's some good brothers. You need to go check them out. But yeah, like you said, a lot of times the mommy issues turn into wife issues. And because that man wasn't able to retaliate or disrespect, curse his mama out, put his hands on his mom. He held all that in until he was able to get out the house. And now he's out the house and he's in this dating world. A lot of times, if the one he's dating, the significant other, the wife, the long-term girlfriend, say something or trigger something similar to what he went through with his mom, there is a good chance that he can snap, you know. And so that's why all of them saying you have to be somewhat healed, if not completely healed, before moving forward in those relationships. And it is so important that women notice the signs. Here in Georgia, just the other day, the wife had told me about an article she read about a man who killed 3 children and then turned the gun on himself. And he took the kids off away from the mother, and tells on what was going on in that relationship. But the fact that he took the kids from the mother, killed all 3 of them, and then turned the gun on himself and killed himself. That could have been a result of a mommy issue. Because it seems like if he took the kids from her and left, he knew those kids would hurt her. Being without those kids would hurt her. And so he wanted to hurt her. And to hear those stories, I mean, this happened maybe 3 days ago in Gwinnett County. And to hear those type of stories, women, you have to be careful. I know you like being free. I know body count don't matter to a lot of you all, and you just want to do what you do, balling out of control, inviting all these different men inside your home over your children. But if you have children, a child, children, you have to be more careful of who you're choosing to let inside your home, let inside your life, let around your children. You have to be more careful. I don't care if he's like I said on a previous podcast. I don't care if he that dude from that dude Ghost on Power, that all y'all think Ice Cube son, all the ones y'all think sexy, um, Blueface, whatever. I don't know. Whoever the high sex symbols are now that y'all ladies crazy about, um, you have to evaluate that brother. Every man you meet do not need to meet your children. And that's the main purpose of this podcast tonight, is to talk about the men with the mommy issues that can leak into wifey issues, girlfriend issues, long-term relationship issues, move-in issues, around my child issues. So you have to think more about who you're letting in your home, who you're letting in your life, because you don't want to get one of these psychos that then been through everything with these mother issues, and you end up losing your life. You end up hurting your children. That's just not something I think you want to do. And I was just going to be brief tonight. I just want to come on for a little while, stick to the script. I got a partner that's going through some things, and he needed me to come on tonight and shed some light on what he was going through. So I said I was going to go ahead and do this tonight. Um, him and his girlfriend, so-called girlfriend, just broke up, and it's more of a um, mommy issue type deal, kind of like the baby boy situation that I just was speaking of. Um, the son, but number one, and I was going to tell him, but I hadn't had a chance to just break it down. Um, he tried moving in with his new girlfriend. She tried to convince him to move in to save on bills, and she liked his children, his sons, and she wanted him to move in. So he looked at the financial situation, and he was like, "Yeah, finance wise, we would both benefit more if I moved in with you, because she had the bigger house, the bigger place." And so they figured we're going to be a couple, so let's move in. So she has a teenage son, and I guess he may be maybe, I think, 13. Let me see, 14. Let's see how old this kid. Um, but anyway, she has a maybe 17-year-old kid, somewhere up in there. But anyway, so the kid decides to tell him that this is my house, even though the apartment or house or whatever is in the mom's name. Uh, this guy, I want to say, had to been like 16, 17, have nerve to tell him that uh, this is my house, and if you don't like what we have going on here, you can leave. And so him understanding that that is that woman's house, asked her to talk to her son. And when she talked to the son, she came back with, well, that is my son, and he's going to be here. And if you have a problem with that, maybe our moving in together wasn't a great idea. So, number one, he shouldn't have moved in with her. If they decided they were going to be together, and I want all my brothers to listen to this. If you meet a woman and y'all decide we're going to combine our income and live together because it's, financially better if we live together, okay? When you guys decide that, never move in with a woman. I preach to everybody, get your own. Get your own. So if y'all are going to combine income, go and find a new place together. That way, you have some say so, she has some say so. Especially if you haven't reached the man of the house title yet. It's hard for y'all new brothers to get man of the house because these independent women eating y'all up all day. But and you guys bending every which way try to make that shit work. But to each his own. You gotta do what you gotta do. But that's the first mistake he made, was deciding to move in with his girlfriend. Now she has a 16, 17-year-old son. This is my house, and then the mother took the son's side, as some people would say, as she should. But I say, no, you women need to start checking these kids. You men need to start checking these kids and getting respect with the person that you plan on being in a long-term relationship with. So my first advice would have been, and when he hit me up, I'm gonna air it out if he don't see this or if he's not watching it. Number one, your mistake was moving in with her. Never do that, especially these days. It's not to say that it was cool in the 70s, maybe cool in the 80s, cool in the early 90s. But after that independent woman wave with not like Austin, my co-host Austin and he brought up the She's Got Papers. The She's Got Papers song, I think it was Betty Wright in there, but she went off on the guy Richard Dimplefield because he was seeing somebody else but married to her, and he was in the shower one morning singing that she's a sweet little thing that's on his mind, talking about the outside girl. So she heard him in the shower and put him out of the house. And the first thing she was saying is, "This is my house, I pay the rent. I put you through school." Wait, she didn't say rent. It's house note. I pay the house note. I put you through school. I pay for that car you riding in. So hearing songs like that is what made me know living with a female is not what I wanted to do. Now, if you're doing it for temporary terms, get on your feet. Y'all help each other out, and then you get your own. If y'all hadn't decided to get engaged, get married, y'all not planning the future. Move in knowing that it's temporary. Give yourself 3 to 6 months. Work, save your money, get your own place. And then you guys see each other day, and then when y'all ready to get together, you leave and you go get your place together. You both names on the goddamn lease. And if you're smart, fellas, put your name on there first. But I'm just saying, I'm just, trying to shed the light, because women are possessive, you know what I'm saying? And women love saying this my house, this my car. And then you got a lot of guys who's raised by their mothers that came up with little or nothing. they're sprung out on that my also. So it's just best to have your own. So you can say my when you want to say my. So that was number one. Then when the guy said what he said, when the son said what he said to him, and by right, the mother should have put that son in his place, especially if her name is the only name on the lease. This is my house. You don't run nothing in here. Uh, I want him here. He's going to be here, and you're going to respect him. But when there's mother issues going on, conversations like that don't happen because she don't want to hurt her son's feelings. So that son feel like he can kind of run that household, and he's running off every man that comes over there, and that's why she's 45 plus and single, looking for somebody to date. You know. But I'm sure the son able to come there, fix him a little peanut butter jelly sandwich, grab him a little juicy juice, and go over there and see his girlfriend, and they have the time of their life, spend the night, some nights, then come there to her lonely, you know what I'm saying, house. Because he runs off every man she gets. Same thing, like I say, with the baby boys. That issue is the same thing that happened with the baby boy. But it boils down to mommy issues. And like I say, I've seen the mommy issues where men act like they literally hate women. You know what I'm saying? They'll have uh, relations with them, you know, but they act as if they don't like women. They can't stand women, you know. And oh, I gotta plug this phone up. And that's a trending trait. Um, they don't like women. Well, I mean, they love women, but because of the mother issues, they act like they don't like it. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure it's men out there that know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure it's women who've dated men that know what I'm talking about. But it's a double standard, and it's crazy because it's their fault, but it's not their fault, and and you don't want to walk around here playing the victim. No real man want to walk around playing the victim, but it's happening and it's there. And so when he hit me and say they broke up and explained the incident, and he was like, "Man, that was a, you know," and this is a guy who loves deep. This is a guy who's longing for love. This is a guy who wants to settle down and build, uh, bring, you know, what he has, his knowledge and his funds, his salary to the table to better this woman and her son. And the son gets beside himself, pokes his chest out, and say, "This is my house. You know, you don't like what's going on here, you can leave." And then for the mother to vouch behind that. And then, like I say, I don't like being hard on people who come for me for advice, but at the same time, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a realist. And if you did some stupid shit, I'm gonna let you know you did stupid shit. I don't sugarcoat. Nobody sugarcoated for me, and I feel like I turned out fine. so, so I'm gonna, you know, tell it like it is. And so now he's back, and I'm hoping he didn't just leave his place, but I'm gonna have to find out what happened. But knowing him, knowing the way people move today, he let his place go and moved in with her, and it didn't work. So hopefully he has sense enough. Well, I'm gonna try this, and I'm still gonna pay rent at my place, and I'm gonna stay over here with you and help you with bills, but I'm still gonna pay rent at my place. Hopefully that's where his head was at. but I didn't get a chance to actually talk to him and go into detail. Um, but yeah, so he hit me up with that, and I was like, yeah, that definitely falls under the mommy issues. And like the guy said earlier, when the guy is too close to his mother, where they're closer than what they need to be or should be at the time that he's an adult, that's what's going on with this 17, 18-year-old that's living in the home that felt it was appropriate for him to approach this grown 40-some-year-old man and tell him that this is my house, you know. Um, but I wouldn't speak to the woman again. Um, but he loves deep. He loves hard. He's a sucker for love. So he's probably gonna answer the call and talk to her, but that guy would have to go, especially if he's out of school. You gotta go. And then what, school will be out in a couple months. So if he's 17 years old and still in school, his ass need to be out, you know what I'm saying, this summer. Get him a job, let him get his own apartment if I'm gonna be there. Or while if I continue to stay, which I know I wouldn't because I just couldn't be under another woman's roof, uh, knowing that I want to holler, but I gotta whisper. Can't do that. I wasn't raised like that. I'm not built like that. So I'm gonna get my own, and I'm gonna let her know if I just have to move in. I'm gonna say, okay, baby, this was going on. I'm gonna move in with you. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna give myself a damn time limit. I'm gonna help her with the electric, uh, the water. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to pay probably 200. Depends on what her rent is. I'm not gonna give her half rent. I might do half rent. Okay, half rent, half electric, half water. I'm gonna have my own phone bill, and if I'm using her internet, I give 4 hours on internet. But I'm stacking my paper to move out. This is not a long term situation. If I gotta leave where I'm at, it's cheaper our way, yeah. But that's gonna be tough. Because if I dedicate 6 months to it, that's gonna be a hella tough 6 months. Living with somebody uh, uh, that can so-called per se throw you out at any time when y'all argue. And I'm not about no kissing ass. So that's why the move in and living with a woman, especially these days, wouldn't work with me because she's gonna make sure I know it's her house, it's her place. And I understand that. So that's why I wouldn't never put myself in that predicament, you know. And I've been blessed thus far not to be able, you know, to have to go back and resort to that. Um, but I understand you gotta do what you gotta do. But when you do what you gotta do, have a plan to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. And I had great father figures and uncles in my lives, and I learned from my brothers and you know my aunts and uncles' mistakes. I don't have to fall in that ditch to know that that water deep and it's a possibility I may drown. I can see you do that shit, and I know I ain't gonna do it. But a lot of people don't operate like that. And so my best advice to him is to completely condition himself to be away from her. And he probably needs to start dating women that don't have children because I would probably be scarred from that, especially a teen son. I would be scarred. And I wouldn't want to date another woman with a teen child. And then it depends on how involved the father is with that child if he's a toddler. Because it's just crazy the way things are going now. And then you get a woman with daddy issues. and then he's a man with mommy issues, and they try to get together, that's nothing but a toxic relationship. And if you ladies sit back and look, over 68%, 65% of the men that you date have some type of issues, whether it's a father issue or a mommy issue, a daddy issue or a mommy issue, and vice versa. I think with the women, it's more of a 42% that has the daddy issues, but it's more men with mommy issues. So it's definitely something that needs to be looked into. Now, should this be something that you look into before choosing your mate? I say yeah. If y'all, you need to pay attention. That's on both sides. Uh, Watch the behavior of that lady with her mom and dad, and watch the relationship your uh with your man, mommy, daddy. Check out their relationships. And if it's a lot of hatred there, women, especially if it's towards the mother, you guys got to kind of look out. And vice versa with the men. If she hates her dad, can't stand her dad, you kind of got to watch him, because it's a possibility she will turn on you the way she disliked her dad, because she may see some of your similarities in him. So it probably a lot of times won't be intentional. It's just in her nature. And then it's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna get out. But let me elaborate on this one and then I'm out.
Check this out. I know a lot of guys who seem to me, I know these people personally, they seem to me like they hate women. They really do. And I tell them this. Now, here's what I've noticed. I'm not pointing the blame at anybody. I just want you to pay attention if you know people like this. In my experience, the guys that I know, the men that I know who speak a certain way and behave a certain way towards women, they all have a direct issue with their mothers. They had issues with the way their mothers raised them, treated them, and there's always an issue. Now, I hear in a lot of cases that a lot of women have the same way with the way, their fathers treated them or their fathers wasn't there. I don't know, because I'm not a woman. You would have to tell me. But I'm telling you, for men that I know, that's a serious issue. And a lot of men don't realize that. They don't realize where the source of their issues come from. A lot of them don't even realize that they have an issue with women. So if you're hearing that from people, if you feel a certain way, if you find yourself speaking a certain way consistently about women, you might want to analyze that. You might want to just really think about your relationship with your mother. Because again, all of the men that I know that are like that, they have, as much as they say they love their mothers and all this stuff, they have always had serious issues back and forth with their mothers. And they always was usually seeking a certain type of love and attention, and they never got it. They felt like their mothers never really showed them any proper love. They may have put the other kids, their other siblings above them and put them down. A lot of stuff like that. So it's just to know, if you're one of those guys, I want you to think about that and really analyze yourself. If you're women and you're seeing these guys' behavior, just stop and think. I'm not trying to make any excuses. I'm not trying to, point any blame, but just understand, just look at them and analyze. If you know them, that might be a source of their problem. And maybe you can bring that to their attention and even help them, even understand that.
And he said that to say, if you love that person, you won't do like what Guy said earlier in one of the video clips, run. Ladies, if you get a man like this, run. At least let him make that man aware of his actions and recommend therapy. Recommend going back to the mom and trying to resolve those issues. Even though once you're grown and you were seeking that love and affection when you were young, if you can get some of that affection, or at least come to grips at some type of closure to move on, to forgive, and understanding on why you were neglected, why she wasn't affectionate, and try to explain that. Maybe that'll heal that wound. But just letting it go is going to continue to grow, and is going to be detrimental to your relationships moving forward. And so it's a serious issue with the way a person treat their parents. Often it's the way they end up treating their mate. And that's the whole purpose of these last two podcasts, daughters with daddy issues, sons with mother issues, is pointing those issues out. And a lot of times they need to be addressed, And so for my partner that's going through what he's going through, I want him to shake back, but I know his heart is broken because he had more respect and admiration for the lady. He thought she was going to be the next one. He'd been divorced like twice, I think, and he thought this was going to be the one. He might have been divorced once, but he's finally was able to step out since that divorce. Finally had the courage and the strength to find somebody else, and then they're going perfect, and then it ends cold turkey because the son addressed him, and you weren't woman or girlfriend enough to put your son in his place. So I'm sure I'm gonna inbox him probably after this and talk to him. But stop ignoring the signs. Number one, if you really like that person, suggest therapy. Go with them. Or if you can't afford therapy, I think therapy is corny. Sit amongst each other and talk it out, and then go to the mother. Have him to go to the mother while you're there, and let them kind of talk it out, because some healing needs to be done. And a lot of times, you like say when you in that type of situation, tears may shed while he's talking to the mother, but that healing moment needs to happen. The guys that's living with their moms at 30 years old plus, that's not normal. It's not normal. You have to break away. You're never gonna be the 100% man that any woman desire living with your mom. Situations get tough. You run to your mom. My parents were there, but hell, times got tough. Shit, I struggled. I toughed it out. You know what I'm saying? It was the fact that I knew I had a safety net, but just because I got the safety net, I'm not gonna use it. And for years, my peers would see how I was coming up, how I'm living. Oh, his mom and them, his folks put money in his account and they take care of him. Nah, buddy, I was out there getting it. You know what I'm saying? I was getting it. Because I rarely ask my folks for anything. And I can count on one hand since being 18 that I've ever asked my parents for anything. My folks for anything. And I'm still on one hand. And they always offer. Because somehow your folks know when you're going through some shit. But I don't participate in that. Because I was taught, to get out there and get it by any means necessary. But a lot of times when they have the mommy issues, they're going to run home to be pacified by their mothers. She rubbed that head. It's going to be okay. And then you go 30, 35 years old with your mama rubbing your head with your head in a bosom and shit. No, sir. So it's like, I couldn't do it. And I try to preach to the newer generation, like Outkast and them taught us, you got to get up, get out and get something. In other words, get off your ass. like Pimp C will say, you got to get off your ass. But Yeah. So that's where I stand on the sons with mommy issues. You have to address those issues. You got to face them. Go and have that talk with mom. You got to toughen up. You got to man up. You got to get out here because not too many women that I know wants a mama's boy. And you can't be out here hating women. You can't be out here um, cursing them out and trying to shame them because of some crap you went through when you was a child. That's asinine. That's stupid. Don't do that. It's not what it do. And so I said I was gonna come on here solo tonight because the guy inboxed me and told me what happened. And I didn't have time to address him. So I made the topic and I talked to him about and I'm talking to him about the issue. Once this is over, I'm gonna send it to him. But the thing that you need to take out of it, men, stand up and be men now. Understand that living with mom, um, mama's there. You may be the only son. You may be the youngest son, uh, the oldest. You mama's baby boy. You know what I'm saying? But you have to stand up and be a man. And it was and the guy posted, why are the beautiful younger women 25 and up dating guys 40 and up? Why? Okay. They're looking for guidance. They're more stable. They're not asking for Jordans with your income tax. They're not asking for a PS5 with your income tax. So it's a lot of reasons why the younger females are going after the older males. It's a lot of reasons. That's a whole nother topic. I think we did it last year on a previous podcast. But it's a reason. And it's just that the newer breed of guys are not stepping up to the plate um, like the older generations. So y'all tend to lose, the younger generations is tend to lose because those women now have gotten a taste of independence. They're playing stocks. Like we saw on a previous podcast, they're buying homes. What can they do with a man that's playing Fortnite, that's playing um, Madden, that's playing that ops, uh, that warfare while they're at work, that don't have a car, that's content with living off of her without anything to offer but some. I'm just saying. And all this may be a result of the sons with mommy issues. So yes, it is. I feel it is important to know who you're dating. And yes, you should watch the behavior of your mates because 8 times out of 10, the way they treat that parent, and that's whether you male or female, the way they treat that parent is how they're going to eventually treat you, unless you understand why they treat their parent like that. Unless you see why they treat that parent like that. Now, if I see her trying and the mama keep kicking her down, trying to send her in depression mode, showing the other one's favoritism over her, and she comes out and say, fuck my mama, damn my mama. I can't stand my mom. I hate my mom. And you see what's going on and vice versa. I hate my dad. Damn dad, fuck dad. If you're hearing that and you see how that parent treats that child, that's a totally different scenario, totally different situation. But 8 times out of 10, the way that person treat their parents is how they're going to eventually treat you. And that's why that quote in the Bible, honor thy mother and thy father, for their days should be long upon the face of the earth. That's respect. That's basically just teaching respect. Respect your parents is what it's saying. And if that person you're dating don't respect their parents, and you see the parents trying to be there, or you know the parents are doing the best they can and it's still not enough, eventually you're going to fall in that same category. So it is important to watch how that mate treats their parents. A lot of the times, the way they treat the parents is how they are going to treat you. And sons with daddy issues often, like I said, they're narcissistic. They want you to be the mama. That's why you hear a lot of women say, I'm not your mama. You know, it's because he's looking for that woman that he's dating to be that mother figure, you know. So, and women are a lot more stern, mean than a man. That woman will tell you in a minute, you know what I'm saying? I'm not your mama and I'm not going to play your mama. You want somebody to cook, clean, do all that, you need to go back to your mama's house. You know, where a man to kind of tolerate it, get upset, go get a beer or something, go hang with a partner for a second and let it ride. That woman going to let you know. So I'm going to close it out with, yes, you need to pay close attention to your mate before you make it a long-term mate, before you do the marriage thing. You have to watch the behavior. And then once you notice the behavior, you need to kind of want to see where it's coming from. Why do you act like that? Why did you curse your mom out? Why do you expect me to wait on you hand and foot? Why? And if you love them, you'll work with them. Let's go to therapy. You know, let's talk it out first. Do we need to pay your mom a visit? Do all of us need to go to counseling? Do all of us need to go to therapy? But because until, like they said in the earlier video, until that man is healed from the mommy issues, it's going to remain the same or it gets worse. And you can keep ignoring if you want to, but then when the real him just come 100% out because you did something or said something that he resent that his mom said or did, and then you become the target. That's just something to think about. So I'm just trying to drop a little knowledge because of things that's been going on, and then my partner went through what he went through. And but I probably gonna have a long conversation with him Friday. I usually do my callbacks and reply to people on Fridays. But I will, you know, meet with him and see where his head at. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm about to dock the ship. Shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight. Next week is my hip hop week. Now, what I was trying to do, I was going to get Kim on here, and I wanted at least 3 more people. So 4 people, and I was just going to be the mediator and voice my opinion. That's what I'm working on. And we was just going to break down the beef, the rap beef thing. But I thought it would last till this week. but Rolling Stones, a white magazine, decided to end the rap beef and just say, "Oh, Kendrick's the winner." But I think they didn't understand what Drake was saying. Drake did say he was tired and he really didn't want to battle a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? But he also said that if you can come up with some, all he's speaking is truth. And if you can come up with some true facts, get at me. So that means when you come with something true, you say something, I'm gonna come back with something. But since Kendrick dropped that fire per se mustard song, now I'm gonna critique the mustard song. It's a club banger, but to me it's a little thin. That dun, 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 should have been a different sound. And it's coming from someone that I used to be a producer. I used to rap, I write, and all that. So, and I'm currently a DJ. So it's a cool track, but that sound that he's using, I used to use that sound years ago with the MPC. It was a hit. Dun, 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 dun. I just think it should have been a little deeper. Another sound should have been used. And I used to be up all night searching sounds that fits the record. That sounds kind of thin. It really didn't fit the record, but it was good enough for the record to be a hit. So it really didn't matter because it hit hard. And I'm predicting this song to be number one just as long as Like That was number one. So Kendrick is back relevant again. And then, like I said, Drake should have took that BBL Drizzy beat and jumped on it and switch up the BBLs. You know what I'm saying? I'm bagging your best lady. You know what I'm saying? You know, what I said, bad bitch lover. You know what I'm saying? And I would have had that BBL Drizzy playing and Drake would have freaked that beat out. And that should go instant number one, even though he going through all the shit he going through with the allegations. So, but he don't have good people in his camp because if he did, he wouldn't have. Kendrick just outdid everything with him. So, like I say, once again, I salute Kendrick Lamar. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? King Kendrick, he got the crown right now. He got the crown. Drake got the money. Kenny got the Grammys. Drake got the money. So, two great artists, though. I think the battle was mismatched, but like I said, I'm gonna talk about it more on the Hip Hop Podcast. If I can get my panel together, it's gonna be off the chain. I just need me a couple of Drake fans, and I need one more. Well, I already got my two Kendrick fans. I need two Drake fans. When I get two Drake fans, I'm gonna put that panel together, and we're gonna hit it. And I'm working on that now. So next week supposed to be my Hip Hop Podcast. So that's what we are doing next week. Every third Wednesday, Hip Hop Podcast. We talk about nothing but hip hop, and I don't want nothing but hip hop heads on there. You know what I'm saying? And people tired of the beef and the battles, but they're still talking about it. I'm gonna try to let theirs die down, and I'm gonna bring my own personal panel and just kind of break down what happened. So Kim is not canceled yet. I just need my two Drake people to hit me back. They were hitting me back strong when the 2 weeks ago, and then they kind of barely saying anything, and they hadn't hit me back since Saturday now. So I'm gonna have to reach out to them. But I'm trying to get this panel together, and and then I need a non-biased person on there. So I'm just trying to put a little panel together to do this hip hop battle breakdown next Wednesday night. But with all that being said, Speak On It podcast is happening out there. So we like Austin say, we might as well speak on it. And until next week, we out of here. Peace. Next week, tune in, man.
And what it meant to DJ Scott.
So if y'all know any Drake fans that's crazy about Drake or think that Drake won, have them to hit me up because I want to do the panel. Kim ready to go. So inbox me. Any Drake fans, y'all have them to inbox me because I want to get this panel going and just kind of see, where everybody heads at. Because a lot of the true hip hop people was like, Rolling Stones shouldn't have ended the battle. But like I say, that's next week. Drake fans, inbox me, hit me up. Let's get it. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.
What you thinking, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told them, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even thought. Why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are. Like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is a rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It me.
Right.
I'm not going to walk away when things get hard. You know, that's providing, right? I'm going to provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, you know, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.